It is important to understand that if you are dealing with a pathological narcissist, that pathological narcissists live in an alternate reality. So physically, this person could be standing right beside you, but they live in a completely different dimension. You see, if you are dealing with a pathological narcissist, then you are dealing with a pathological liar. This means that they are always lying. And pathological lying is not like telling little white lies every now and then. They tell lies and they actually believe the lies that they tell, and this is because they live in an alternate dimension. Narcissist, sociopath, the narcissistic sociopath, the sociopathic narcissist, the narcopaths have no empathy. This is because they did not develop to the level of consciousness to have empathy. Hence, understand that they are solely focused on themselves in meeting their own needs. So when they are lying, then there is no regard for the other person they are lying to or lying about. For example, in their smear campaigns. All that matters to the narcissist is that they get their own needs met. Oftentimes on the channel, you'll hear me state that every day a mosquito wakes up and that mosquito knows that it needs to find a host. And this is because parasites need to feed on hosts. This is how they are designed. Animals in nature are designed for their nature. And mosquitoes don't love their hosts. They use their hosts for supply. And this is exactly how it is with pathological narcissists. And studies have even shown that narcissists and sociopaths, again, the sociopathic narcissist, the psychopathic narcissist, because NPD and antisocial personality disorder often overlap, these individuals are able to pass polygraph lie detector tests. And this is because they do not show the physical symptoms that a healthy person does when they are lying. This is because they don't believe there is anything wrong with it. Again, they are empathy impaired. They do not have any empathy to give to you. In their minds, they are simply looking out for themselves and doing what is best for them. Lying to a pathological narcissist is a way of life. And if you go back to day 0, when you met this individual, you will see where they were lying to you. If we take a look at the narcissistic abuse cycle, the idealization phase or the love bomb phase is also a lie, because pathological narcissists do not have love to give. They have love bombing to give. And love bombing is one of the many manipulation tactics that they use to get their victims to drop their guard so that they can come in later and devalue them and gaslight them and triangulate them and abuse them. And at the core of this, the first lie that the narcissist accepted is the lie that they are the false self, the ego, the mask, because they believe in their mind that they are the ego. They believe that they are the masks that they wear. So it is important that you understand that behind the physical veil, you are dealing with someone that has a very severe type of self-abandonment. This is a severe type of dissociation. So they started to dissociate from their true selves, their true spirits in childhood. And instead, they diverted all of that energy to their ego, the false self, the masks that they wear. And understand that when you are dealing with a pathological narcissist believe that they are the masks that they wear. So Jim Carrey, that plays Stanley Ipkiss in The Mask, believe that he is the green mask. In their demented minds, this is not a lie. They live in an alternate reality. And understand that narcissists lack whole object relations. This means to them that everything is either good or bad. Everything is either black or white. So in their mind, a person cannot be good and make mistakes or do wrong. So since they themselves are eternally good, they cannot admit to ever doing anything that would be considered wrong. And this is their rigid type of perfectionism. They are very prideful people, dysfunctional pride. They are based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. And this pride here means that the narcissist believes that they are perfect. And again, perfect people cannot do anything wrong. And if they don't do anything wrong, well, you must be the one that is doing something wrong. So understand that evil people always need a scapegoat. Scapegoats are food for pathological narcissists. They must scapegoat someone else because, again, they are perfect. Perfect people cannot do anything wrong. So it is important that you understand that the individual that you're dealing with has a very severe type of psycho-spiritual arrested development. So at the level of the psyche or the soul or the personality, understand that the entire psyche is disordered. The entire personality is disordered, hence a personality disorder. The entire soul is dark. And understand that this darkness at its core is coming from the fact that these individuals abandon their true selves, their true spirits in childhood. So because they abandoned their light, then they accepted darkness. And this darkness is spreading through the psyche, through the soul, through the personality. So you are dealing with someone that is losing their minds. You are dealing with someone that does not have very good control over their emotions because they're based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. And when we are talking about the will, well, they have an underdeveloped will. They're very impulsive and compulsive. And again, at the core of this is because they abandoned their true self, their true spirit for a false self, that which you call the ego. Hence, the captain abandoned ship and the driver is in the back seat. And this essentially means that the ship that you are on is the Titanic. Hence, it must go down. You are incapable of having healthy, blossoming, blooming relationships with a pathological narcissist because they are regressing. You will see where the darkness at their core will spread throughout. Again, they're losing their minds. They're losing control of their emotions. They're based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. And because they're unable to move past their pride, well, pride comes before the fall and they fall right back down to shame. You're dealing with low vibrational beings. They have arrested development. They're not growing. And again, remember that they're not growing because they believe that they are perfect. Perfect people do not need to change. Hence, understand that your abuser will require you to adjust yourself to their abuse because they do not see anything wrong with their behavior. At the core of pathological narcissism people is that they have the inability to self-reflect. You need a self to self-reflect. Pathological narcissists do not have a true self. They lost that connection to their spirit. What they have a connection to is their false self. The false self is working in full force. That is what you are dealing with in the narcissistic relationship. And that is why you could truly never get to know them because technically they did not develop. They started to dissociate from their true selves in childhood and they connected to their false self, the ego. The ego is what you are interacting with, the mask, the false self. And that is no different from me coming on here telling you that I'm Wonder Woman or Thor or Spider-Man. It's a mask. It's fake. Because they did not develop their spirit. They abandoned their spirit. They abandoned the captain of the ship. So what you are dealing with is someone that is regressing. And you will see where they get worse over time. Their behavior gets more erratic with age. For those of you that are dealing with aging narcissists, it gets worse with time. They age like milk. They curdle over time. They do not age like wine. They do not get better with time. And this is because they will not let go of the ego. People understand that Smeagol wants the ring. Jim Carrey will not take that mask off his face. And because Smeagol wants the ring, well, he will devolve into Gollum. They'll lose themselves over time because their spirits are shriveling up and their egos continue to grow. They are wired backwards. Pathological narcissists exist in an alternate dimension. Again, physically, that person could be standing right beside you, but you exist in two completely different dimensions. You are dealing with the insane. It is insanity to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. This is what you're calling the reprobate mind. Again, they have severe psycho-spiritual arrested development. They are losing their minds. Only the insane go around in circles, people. The living can change their behavior. Hence, it is important that you learn to discern the dead versus the living. The dead deteriorate, the living appreciates. The living progresses, the dead regresses. The living ascends and the dead descends. It is important that you learn how to discern spirit and the direction that people are growing, because you are here to evolve, you are here to grow. Pathological narcissists are growing in the complete opposite direction of you. They are descending into the sunken place, into the upside down, because they are wired backwards. They believe that they are their ego, and you will see where if the mask slips or if you question them, they drag that mask tighter to their face. Why? Smeagol wants the ring. Narcissists want the ego. If you question them, you'll see where they have a narcissistic injury. That's the disorder. They don't want to let go of their ego, so they don't have an ego death. Hence, they will not spiritually awaken. They are the walking dead. A narcissistic injury, people, is when a pathological narcissist perceives a threat, whether real or imagined, that goes against the grandiose false self, that goes against the ego, that goes against the mask. They do not want to put the mask down. Smeagol does not want to put the ring down. Hence, he turns into Gollum. You are dealing with a Gollum spirit, somebody that is regressing, somebody that is filled with shame, pathological insecurities, pathologically low self-esteem so low that they would probably have to look up to see it. So understand that a self-loathing individual will also want you to loathe yourself. And this is why Gollum will tell you that
nobody likes you. You don't have any friends. You won't find anyone better than me. Everybody hates you.
Isn't that what you were dealing with? A Gollum spirit. So physically, people, you could be dealing with a narcissist that is very attractive, but the spirit that you're dealing with is a Gollum spirit. If you could truly see into the spirit realm, and some of you can, but if you could truly see the spirit of the person that you are dealing with that is behind the physical veil, people, they look like Gollum. A devolved human, a demon, someone that is losing their humanity, that is losing their humanness, because they are stuck at the bottom of the consciousness ladder. Smeagol wants the ring. They do not want to let go of the ring. They believe in their mind that the ring gives them power. In their mind, this is what they think. They believe that the ego makes them powerful and strong. But here's the thing, people. The ego cannot sustain itself because it is not meant to be a true self. It is a false self. You are spirit, governing a human body with access to tools, namely your mind power, your willpower, and your emotions. Pathological narcissists abandon their spirit. They abandon the captain of the ship. Hence, that ship must crash. It has to go down. There's no one there truly operating the tools. This is why they are regressing. They believe that they are the false self. That is the disorder. That is the dis-ease. That is the insanity that you are dealing with. You cannot reason with pathological narcissist people because they do not have any reasoning abilities. They exist below the level of rational thinking. Every day they wake up, they're in the first dimension, and at best they get to the third dimension. And pride comes before the fall, and they fall right back down to shame. They do not have access to the fourth dimension. That is where you get to rational thinking, when you can get accountability and camaraderie, and you can work together and grow. Hence, you are dealing with the opposition. Pathological narcissists are the op. They are working against you. There's no equality in victim abuser consciousness. There's no equality in the third dimension. You cannot get equality from someone that is stuck in their lower ego. It does not exist. So understand that if you are going up, well, the narcissist is going down. If you are headed east, well, the narcissist is headed west. You are rowing your boats in two completely different directions. You cannot build with a pathological narcissist because they embody destructive energy. The Titanic must go down. So when you truly understand that you are dealing with a pathological liar, when you truly understand that you are dealing with a black hole, you will stop pouring into that individual. Because anything you pour into them will get lost. They are in the sunken place. They are in the upside down. They are wired backwards. And you are dealing with someone that believes that they are perfect. Perfect people do not need to change. They are perfect. This is the pathological narcissist psyche. This is how they think. They are very prideful people. And, well, if you won't let go of your pride, you won't ascend. And since they won't ascend, then they will descend. Pride comes before the fall, and they go right back into another cycle. Another shame, pride cycle. That is what you're dealing with. Someone that lives in an alternate dimension. Someone that lives in an alternate reality. And it is of the utmost importance that you do not follow pathological narcissists into the dimension where they exist. If you follow them, you will eventually get lost. You will eventually feel like you're losing your mind, as if you're going through some type of induced schizophrenia or an induced psychosis, because you are following a crazy person. You will eventually feel like your emotions are all over the place. You will start to get more and more emotionally dysregulated because you are dealing with the insane. You may feel like you're losing your will to live because you are communing with the dead. Bury the dead. You do not carry corpses on your back. They are dead. Wait. Let go. Do not go into the sunken place with the narcissist. You are on the highway to hell, the first dimension, when you should be ascending. It is of the utmost importance that you get the courage to walk away and stay away from these dysfunctional individuals. Because if you take a look at the numbers, if you take a look at the statistics, you will see where it takes victims on average 7 times before they become survivors. So again, the average is 7. It could be less, it could be more. But the average is 7 times before a victim becomes a survivor, because victims keep going back into victim abuser consciousness. You keep going back to the third dimension and the second dimension and the first dimension with the narcissist, with the dead, with individuals that are stuck in the sunken place, believing that you can love them or they can love you. You cannot love a narcissist and they cannot love you back. There's no love in the third dimension, only victims and abusers. All of your love and kindness and compassion that you try to pour into the pathological narcissist is going to evaporate right there at the third dimension. That is the spiritual barrier. So So you may not be able to physically see it, but there is a barrier there because you exist in completely different dimensions. Again, that person could be physically standing right beside you, but they live in an alternate reality. It is of the utmost importance that you learn how to discern spirit. You cannot pour into a pathological narcissist. Anything you pour into them will depreciate because they are depreciating. They are regressing. They are deteriorating because they abandoned their true spirits in childhood. You can't know a narcissist. They don't even know themselves. They believe that they are the ego. They believe that they are the false self. They believe that they are the masks that they wear. You are dealing with a total fake. Hence, it is of the utmost importance that you get the courage to walk away and stay away. It is of the utmost importance that you get the courage to ascend. You can only have healthy, blossoming, blooming relationships with people that are healthy, blossoming, and blooming. And you will find those individuals in the 4th dimension or higher. People that are working on themselves, people that value personal development, people that have a connection to their spirit. You can only have healthy, blossoming, blooming relationships with the living, with the growing, not with the dead. If you encounter the dead, you bury the dead. You mourn the dead. You grieve the dead. And if you were entangled with a pathological narcissist, you are going through a grief process. And technically, you're grieving someone that is alive, physically at least. So you're leaving all the way from grief, all the way up to acceptance. That is a very big jump. That is a lot of work that needs to be done to heal. But you must heal. You must get the courage to walk away and stay away. Because it is only when you get to the 4th dimension or higher, when you will be in a positive state of frame where you can actually heal and patch those wounds that you have. Because again, if you go back down into the 3rd dimension, into the 2nd dimension, into the 1st dimension, that is victim abuser consciousness. There is nothing else that you're going to find there besides victims and abusers. That is what you find at that level of consciousness if someone is stuck there, like the pathological narcissist. As always, kind people, if you need one-on-one support, go ahead and book an online session. All of the links are here on the page, or you can visit narcdojo.com or send an email to narcdojo@gmail.com. I've been where you are, lost, confused, and unable of how to traverse this journey. But know that you can heal from narcissistic abuse, but it does take getting the accurate information and taking action on that information. Narcissistic abuse is not something that you should be dealing with for a lifetime. So you know that you can heal and you are not alone. Help is closer than you think. And healing is a lot easier than you think, but you do need the accurate information and to take action on that information. So go ahead and take that courageous first step and schedule an online session. I'll help take you from A to Z on how to properly heal from narcissistic abuse so that you can attract healthy and wholesome people and experiences into your life. Remember, healing is a gradual and ongoing process, and it is totally okay to seek support and guidance along the way. So be patient and compassionate with yourself as you navigate your journey towards healing and wholeness. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Continue to like these videos and ensure that you're subscribed for more empowering content. If you have any questions or feedback, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. Sheik is the name. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.